as you know, I do the drum side of things, okay. But also I'd like to point out that I do come from a slightly different angle. Although I'm a teacher, I didn't get into teaching until, say, about 12 years ago, something like that. So, a quick rundown of basically where I come from. Like all of you, when I left school, I didn't know what to do, etc. Or in your case, if you leave college, I just saw an ad in a local paper, drum lessons. I thought, oh, that sounds a laugh, I'll go for one of those. So went for it, was bitten, smitten by it. Just the second lesson did it for me. I thought, this is the life for me. No idea what it entailed, ups and downs, etc. that face you. So after, I don't know, a couple of months or so after that, at the time Mum and Dad were in the forces and moved to Cyprus. And they said, would you like to come with us? And I said, well, what am I going to do over there? Apart from lay in the sun. Well, why don't you practice or be a drummer? I said, well, sounds a good idea to me. So I went. For 3 years I was there. I worked in local bands, English and Cypriot. I was on local TV, believe it or not. Did some nice amphitheatres that are over there, outdoor gigs, etc. And I thought, I really enjoyed it. Well, this is the life for me. The hard part was when my dad turned around to me and said, well, you've got to practice, you know, it's not a holiday for you. So I used to do between 6 and 7 hours a day, 7 days a week, believe it or not. When I look back, I think, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. My inspiration was the local bandmaster there. But I only found out, I think about 5 or 6 years ago, that when he left the forces, he joined the Halley Orchestra as second percussionist. So I thought, wow, this guy must be good. Which he was amazing. So I came home, ended up in Doncaster, thought, what am I going to do? I got a gig at the Top Rank. I don't know if you've heard of the Top Rank circuit. It was sort of, what would you class them as? Top Ranks, they were like dance.
Dance nights, weren't they?
Dance nights, you know, big places. You covered all genres of music, etc. So I got a gig in there, enjoyed it. Wasn't paying as much as I thought, so I thought I could do with a bit more extra money. Saw an ad, drum store, worked in a drum store. Thought, oh, this isn't bad. It showed me the other side of the industry, you know, the trade side as opposed to the pro side playing. So I stayed there for a couple of years, and then just quickly I moved from there to a bigger drum store in Birmingham. And without going into all the ins and outs, could be here all day explaining this, I was offered a job with a Pearl drum company, all from Japan, as an artist relations manager, which was just looking after their endorsees, basically. So I went with them. I learned a tremendous amount from them, the way they do business and market, etc., etc. And that's when I sort of made the decision to, well, yes, I think I might concentrate on this as opposed to the live playing side of it. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy the live. I still do, but I retired many years ago. So I was with them for a couple of years, and then I was basically poached by an American drum company who would like to come and work with them. Well, America has always been my dream place to go to. It was the first time I've been in my life there, to the States. So of course I took the job, went over there, they trained me, and it was just that I realized that I was working with the absolute top of the tree musicians, drummers in my particular case, the world's finest drummers, your Buddy Richards and Willie Nelsons, your Harvey Masons, your Steve Gadds. I was with those guys, you know, and to me that was my education. It's like you with whoever you're into, guitar-wise or vocal-wise, you sat there and you're getting free lessons, aren't you? But the advice you're getting is perhaps the best advice money can buy if you were paying for it. But I was getting this free. So I did that for 8 years. So I accumulated so much knowledge from these people. when I say about highlights, there's so many highlights, but maybe one of the biggest highlights I can remember was being invited to the Muppet Show. Do you remember the Muppet Show? An animal? Do you remember that? Okay. I knew the drummer there. There was an English guy called Ronnie Verrill. Great player. He did the show every week, right, with all the guests. He did a tremendous job. Great reader, great player. And I found out, I got in those days it was fax. We didn't have all the technology we have today. Saying, oh, could you meet Buddy at the Muppet Show, Elm Street Studios? He's going to be on. Would you look after him? I said, yeah, cool, yeah, no problem. So I went there, and to see, there was no rehearsal, by the way. I don't know if you know much about that particular show. Buddy was exchanging fours with Animal. The guy who was working Animal at the time was Jim Hansen, one of the actual creators of it, okay? As I said, there was no rehearsal, so it's like you again playing with your all-time hero, and you're having to exchange licks. It was on the spot, but Ronnie just blew everybody away. I mean, even Buddy was impressed. Afterwards, when we were having dinner, we didn't talk drums. That was a strange thing. Buddy wouldn't really talk drums. But he really complimented Ronnie on his playing, which was nice, you know, from a guy who's probably was and still is in a lot of people's eyes the world's greatest drummer ever. To say something like that to someone like Ronnie, an English person as well, which was a great achievement, was really nice. As I say, there's lots of highs, there's lots of lows. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of travelling. I don't know how I did it sometimes. I used to, when Teesside was open, I used to come into Teesside, say from Sweden, wherever I was at the time. My wife would be there with a change of clothes, and I was on the next flight out. And I did that, as I say, for 8 years, constantly. Sometimes, maybe I was in the States for about 6 months. So it was hard on family life. So after that, the company was being sold, the demise of the company, so I didn't want to work for the new owners, came off. Then I joined, believe it or not, you know Barry here on keyboards. We went cruising together, so around the world again and again. Came back, did the clubs, one thing and another, and then I sort of basically retired, put my sticks up, and that's it. So getting into teaching, I just thought with all this knowledge I've accumulated, I'd really love to put it to use, so that's how I ended up here. Wow. Any questions?
Wow. Wow.